what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby if you're new here, and I am a Lululemon educator in Canada. And as you can tell by today's title, I'm going to be sharing with you all of my tips and tricks on how to care for your Lululemon items so they can last you even longer. I know Lululemon is a little bit more of an investment. It's a little bit more pricey, but I feel like with the proper care and washing instructions, these items can really last you a long time and make great investment pieces for your closet. Now, that being said, just as a disclaimer, even though I work for the company, this video is not sponsored, and you can apply these tips and tricks really to any other brands of activewear that you may own. It doesn't have to be specifically Lululemon, but for this video, I am going to be talking mostly about Lululemon product because that is what I own. But again, it is not exclusive to these products. But if you want to learn how to take care of your Lululemon items, then just keep watching. The first tip I have for you here is before we even get into the washing of the items, and that is wearing the item for what it is intended for. So for example, the Align leggings, which I feel like is a very popular legging from Lululemon, is made from a fabric called Nulu. Nulu is that buttery soft, very lightweight fabric. However, it is very delicate, which is why it is intended for yoga. So sometimes when people wear them for higher intensity activities, such as running, spin class, weightlifting, something like that, they're going to see these pants pill a lot faster, and that is because these are so delicate. Now, of course, this kind of comes down to personal preference. Like if you love to wear a specific style of pant and you love the feel of it and you feel confident in it, then, you know, by all means, do whatever activity that you're doing in them, because at the end of the day, you should feel confident in the pants that you are buying and wearing. So I guess that is first and foremost, but as an educator, if you are buying a more delicate fabric like Nulu, which is seen in the Align pants, then we do recommend these pants be used for lighter activities such as like yoga, light walks, kind of, you know, meditation, those types of things, because the fabric is very delicate. That being said, I know a lot of people wear them to the gym and stuff, and they just know that they're going to pill and they're okay with that consequence. I know a lot of people love to wear lines for every day as well, but also just recognizing that even sitting for long periods of time, whether you're sitting like on a couch, on a chair, on the floor, something like that, anything that, you know, rubs on that fabric can cause it to pill. It's super delicate. If you think of it kind of like your hair, how, you know, maybe it's super smooth right now, it's very soft, but if you go like this for long periods of time, it's obviously going to mat and create knots. And that's basically how I like to think of the Nulu fabric. It is brushed on the outside, so the fibers are like literally soft and brushed, and if you have something rubbing on it constantly, they're obviously going to ball up and create little knots. So just keep that in mind when it comes to fabrics, and maybe opt for something that fits that activity a little bit more. That being said, of course, all clothes are going to wear out over time. If you are looking for more of a training legging, then maybe you could go for like a Wonder Train or a Swift Speed, something like that. That's going to be a little bit more durable so that you get that longevity out of it. I feel like Lululemon has so many different styles of leggings and tops and different pieces for different activities now, so it is easier to find one specific piece for that intended activity, and I feel like that really helps, you know, increase the longevity of the items and keeping that intention in mind when you're using them, and recognizing that maybe the fabric won't withstand the length of time if you are using it outside of that intended purpose, depending on what the garment is. Again, just finding the right kind of pant is really important, or even right kind of shirt is really important to make that piece last longer for you in your closet, and just knowing that would be my first tip to caring for your Lululemon. The second tip I have for you is to separate your Lululemon or any other athletic wear brand from the rest of your laundry. Now, this is really helpful because anything like a zipper, cotton towels, other cotton items, denim is all gonna be very rough in the washer is, if you think about it, like the washer is tumbling all of these items together to obviously get them clean. But if you have like an abrasive zipper, then that could get snagged or get caught on one of these items, or denim could be rubbing, like we talked about, on one of these items, causing it to pill or snag or something like that. So really trying to keep your Lululemon items separate. I have a separate basket on the other side of my closet to keep my Lululemons in, and then my regular laundry goes in the other basket. That works for me. You could do the same. You could put everything into one basket and then just separate it on laundry day. Totally up to you. Really recommend, obviously, separating your Lululemon items or your athletic wear items. You could even wash Lululemon with other, athletic brands together, and then washing, all of your other type of items together in the same realm. So speaking of which, I do have my basket of Lululemon laundry right here since it is laundry day. So let's walk through what I would do to kind of prep my laundry before it even goes in the washer. Technically speaking, you should separate any like scubas from your Lululemons, just because this is like more of a cotton material. Technically, these are okay to be washed with your other regular laundry. However, I still wash mine with my Lululemons and I haven't had problems yet. But technically speaking, if you want to be, the most careful with your Lululemons, I would still separate these items. Same with my scuba hoodies. I won't wash my scuba hoodies with my leggings just because of that abrasive zipper part, and those ones are cotton, so they would be okay to wash with regular clothing. That being said, everything else in here is kind of more of that synthetic material, either Nulu, Luxtreme, the Swiftly material, that kind of thing is all in here. The second thing I will do is turn all of my leggings inside out. So this is a pair of Aligns right here that you can see I have turned inside out. I feel like this just helps with the pilling of the material. So if anything is going to rub on here and cause pilling, it's going to cause pilling on the inside instead of the outside. So when you flip them back right side out, it's not going to have a whole bunch of pilling on the fabric. It's going to be more so on the inside, which is a little bit more hidden, obviously. And in addition, turning your clothes inside out is just good practice, and I feel like it helps keep the color more vibrant on the outside, if that makes any sense. So that is the second thing I'll do after separating my laundry, is turn all of my leggings inside out. The third thing you could do, but I personally don't, is taking out all of the removable bra cups from the sports bras. Lululemon recommends to hand wash the pads from the sports bras separately in warm water. Just hand wash them and then lay them flat to dry. Personally, I throw them in with the sports bras and I never usually have a issue with it. I will always rearrange the padding in here to lay flat when I am drying them, which we'll talk about in a minute. If you kind of leave them crumpled up into a ball, that's when you're really going to get that creasing and weird kind of, padding insert problems. I find that just rearranging them into like the original shape of the sports bra really helps with keeping them in good condition. That is another step that you could do, or you could throw them in another delicates bag into the washing machine with the rest of the Lululemons just to keep them together. Either way, I feel like that is good practice. Also, for separating laundry, you can separate your colors from your whites. Personally, I don't have enough whites to wash separately, so I do wash them all together. However, best practice, obviously, separate your whites from your colors. For me, however, if the item is new, I will obviously wash that one by itself first and make sure that all of the lights or whites are kept out of that in case any dye does decide to run. But knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with that yet. So best practice, separate them. If you can't, be sure to wash any newer item separately first, and then you can wash it all together with the rest of them. For headbands, Lululemon recommends putting them into a delicate bag to wash them. Again, really important to wash the headbands, especially if they have like the anti-slip grip in them. Obviously the hair oils and sweat is going to affect that. So throw them in a delicates bag and then wash them and then lay them flat to dry. Always helps. If you'd like to hand wash them using a mild soap, kind of really washing the anti-slip kind of grip on them and then laying them flat to dry will kind of restore that and help keep your headbands still sticky. For outerwear, I always recommend to wash these things separately, especially if it has down feathers in it. Really important to wash on a gentle cycle, cold water, and then for down feathers, you want to dry it on a low heat or no heat cycle. I always recommend picking up some dryer balls as well. So these are the ones that I use. I just keep them in this little case here, and that really helps to kind of redistribute the feathers in the down jacket as it kind of get clumped in the washing cycle. You could also use tennis balls if you don't want to get like wool dryer balls. That is totally fine, but that kind of helps kind of fluff up the feathers again and kind of make it back to that fluffy sort of feeling and shape. Also, when you are washing any outer layers, be sure that the zipper is fully zipped and any Velcro is also stuck together. Again, that will just help with it not getting snagged on anything else in the washer if you're washing a couple jackets together. If your down jacket is leaking feathers, this is totally normal to like a certain extent. Obviously it shouldn't like lose all of its feathers, but sometimes every now and again they're gonna pop out. Please resist the urge to actually pull the feather out. If you can, like take it from the other side of the fabric and like try and pull the feather back into the jacket. That is better, as pulling it out can actually create a bigger hole for more feathers to leak through. So you want to be sure, if you can, to try and pull that feather back into the jacket. Honestly, a little bit of shedding is normal with down jackets. Also, for any like merino wool or cashlu, anything like that, I would wash those fabrics also together if you can. Normally they appear in sweaters, so if you have like a couple sweaters, then you can maybe do a quick wash for those ones together. It helps extend the lifespan of those specific fabrics if you wash them together. Okay, now that we've talked about prepping your laundry and everything you have to do before it even goes in the washing machine, now it is finally time to add them to the washing machine. So step 3 is all about detergent and the cycle that you use. So we always recommend washing on cold in a gentle cycle. And for detergent, always using less than you think. Typically Lululemon and athletic wear loads are going to be a little bit smaller than your regular clothes per se. I mean, all I wear is Lululemon and mine is still smaller than my regular loads of laundry. I use about 1 tablespoon of detergent. I also use some detergent laundry strips specifically for my Lululemons, just because I find it dissolves a little bit easier. It's a little bit gentler on the clothes. You could also use a liquid detergent, but I would aim for around 1 tablespoon, depending on how big your Lululemon laundry is. And that's why I always say use less than you think. And that is because extra detergent is going to actually clog the sweat wicking materials of the product. So if you think about it, like the garments are kind of like weaved or like stitched, so you can kind of think of it like a tic-tac-toe board, I guess. And if you have extra detergent, it's kind of like almost like gum. It's gonna like stick in between the fibers of the product and it's gonna clog them so that they aren't able to wick away sweat. And same thing goes for fabric softeners. So we always recommend not to use fabric softener in any of your Lululemon laundry, and I feel like that goes for any other activewear brands as well. And that's basically for the same purpose, is that it's going to clog the sweat wicking abilities of the items. That being said, if you've previously washed your Lululemon items with fabric softener, just give them another wash in a, gentle cycle, cold water with some detergent, and that should get rid of the fabric softener problem for you. So they should be going back to having sweat wicking abilities. All right, step 4 is after your wash cycle is done, now it's finally time to dry your Lululemon items. And we always recommend not putting them in the dryer. Always hang to dry all of the Lululemon products. That being said, the outerwear, the down feathers, is obviously an exception to that. And for me personally, I sometimes tumble dry low for some of my cottons, like the All Yours tee, the scuba hoodie, just to kind of, re-soften them. But I will only do that once the item is like 98% dry. I will throw it in there for about 5 to 10 minutes on a no heat or low heat cycle and just give it a quick tumble to soften the fabric back up. But for the most part, you're going to want to hang to dry all of the Lululemon items, including like socks and scrunchies and all of that kind of stuff. You can either get a like fold up drying rack that you can get from like Amazon or Walmart or Target or something like that. I personally have a lot of space in my closet, so I just find space on there to hang the clothes up and kind of spread them out as well so that they are able to fully air dry. That being said, most of Lululemon's clothes are going to be that quick drying, sweat wicking type of property since it is athletic wear. So it is going to dry in a decent amount of time. Definitely be mindful of that. If you are in a rush, I would definitely try to plan your laundry day around, you know, kind of washing your Lululemons properly. If you need an item right away, I wouldn't wait last minute. I would try and do it the day or the night before so that it does have time to air dry and you're not compromising those properties. And throwing these synthetics into the dryer really kind of misshapes the Lycra, kind of melts it down a little bit so it doesn't have that same stretchiness and shape retention that it does when it is brand new if it does go in the dryer. So that's why we always recommend to hang dry all of the items. I do have a couple more tips surrounding, you know, after the washing and drying portion of the care and content. So if you do get a stain on one of your Lululemon items, for me, I spilled a whole bunch of foundation on one of my scuba hoodies. If you follow me on TikTok, then you already know. I was able to get that out with some stain remover, dish soap, white vinegar, and a ton of water. I used a very soft toothbrush to kind of, you know, agitate the stain. So if it's anything like oily, definitely try to use dish soap. I know that OxiClean is another good alternative. Personally, I haven't tried that yet, but I have read a lot of things that OxiClean can work for those types of things. If you do get a stain on it, try and keep that stain wet so that it doesn't dry out. Once it dries, it's a lot harder to get that stain out of the piece of clothing because it is set in there a little bit more. So try and keep your clothing wet, either, you know, spray it down, wet it in the sink, something like that. Use stain remover to try and keep it moist. If you do own a lines and they are pilling, you can also get a little fabric shaver from like Amazon again, or Walmart or Target. I think they're like $20 and you can use one of those over your pants. We use them in store if a guest comes in with, you know, pilling issues in their pants. Unfortunately, it does happen over time. Of course, all clothes are going to pill eventually, but I really feel like investing in a little fabric shaver helps the longevity of your items as well and keeps them looking brand new. Like I said, I really feel like Lululemon is more of an investment piece. I've had some pieces from Lululemon for like 10 plus years. If you saw my Define jacket video, then you know how my oldest Define jacket is looking, and I feel like it looks in pretty good shape. So with proper wash and care, I do feel like these fabrics last a long time and the quality is there, especially with Lululemon creating more specific targeted pieces for certain activities. I feel like that really boosts the longevity of these items, which makes it worth the investment for me. But let me know your thoughts down below. That basically wraps up all of my tips and tricks on how to care for your Lululemon items. I hope you learned something in this video, and be sure to give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel for more Lululemon content and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I post. If you made it to the end of this video, be sure to leave your Lululemon care tips down below in the comments for everyone else, and for me, of course, too. And with that, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!